Caracas is a city on edge, its power shielded by walls, guarded by soldiers, and watched over by Russian-made jets. At the heart of it all, Nicolás Maduro rules from the Miraflores Palace. Believing fiery speeches and the roar of Su-30 fighters are enough to hold back foreign threats. But history tells another story. The deadliest strikes are the ones no one sees coming. From the silent raid that ended Osama bin Laden's reign, to the stealth technology of America's most advanced jets. One question now hangs over Venezuela. What happens when outdated defenses face a force built to strike first and disappear? For years, Washington has accused Maduro of running a vast drug empire across the Americas, tied to violent groups like the Cartel de los Soles, the Sinaloa Cartel, and Venezuela's own networks. In a dramatic move, the U.S. announced a reward of up to $50 million for information leading to his arrest, seizing luxury homes, cars, private jets, and linking him to massive cocaine shipments. Yet Maduro does not live like a man in hiding. From his palace balcony, he mocks Washington, calling the charges lies. Inside Venezuela, his circles still move supplies, issues orders, and keeps the gears of power turning. But outside, the U.S. keeps tightening the net. A 2020 indictment accused top Venezuelan officials of narco-terrorism and conspiracy. A legal hammer that has been swinging ever since. Then comes the moment that changes everything. A single jet, moving faster than sound, ready to redraw the map. Planes like this don't knock on doors. They arrive as a shadow, a roar, and then a strike. The Miraflores Palace may have honor guards, paramilitary units, and armored trucks. But fences and rifles mean little against precision fire from the sky. Caracas lives with danger, markets open, taxis race, people adapt. But when word spreads of U.S. seizures, of massive rewards, whispers grow louder. Soldiers grip their rifles tighter. The palace begins to look less like a seat of government and more like a fortress. But history has shown, fortresses are built to stop men with ladders and rams, not jets that tear through the sky in seconds. In Washington, the order takes shape. Satellites lock onto heat signatures. Drones trace patrols. Intelligence builds a picture, convoy routes. Shift changes, the hangars hiding private jets. Every detail becomes an opening. Every opening a chance. On the ground, palace staff rehearse routines. Convoys wait under low roofs. Guards train for riots and coups. But nothing prepares them for the silence before the sky splits open. Airstrikes carry a cold precision. Remove the command post. Shatter communications. Break the chain of command. The work begins long before launch. In the numbers scrolling across the screen. The dry voice of an operator. Eyes on target. In the pilot's grip as the ground below becomes coordinates. Then crosshairs. Then history. For those on palace rooftops, there's no warning. Only a blinding flash. A roar like the earth breaking. Glass falls like rain. Flags burn. Thick walls twist into shapes defined by impact. Radios go silent. Chaos replaces order in a single heartbeat. The city reacts instantly. Crowds gather. Phones light up. Rumors outpace truth. Washington announces the strike in cold words. To stop narcotics. To prevent further bloodshed. But to others, it's an act of war. A sovereign state struck at its heart. Allies measure their words. Enemies call for vengeance. The Miraflores Palace, steeped in ceremony and history, has always felt untouchable. Tunnels, garages, guards, all part of its myth of invincibility. But no wall, no guard, no rifle can stop what comes from the clear, open sky. Against stealth, speed, and precision, the fortress is nothing more than stone. Enter the F-22 Raptor, a machine built not just to fight, but to dominate. It hides from radar, cruises at supersonic speeds without afterburners, and maneuvers with brutal agility. Its pilot sees the battlefield as a single fused image, radar, infrared, navigation, all merged into one. This isn't just technology. It's a hunter designed to strike before the enemy even knows it's there. When air dominance is on the line, seconds decide everything. The faster a pilot can see threats and strike first, the greater the chance of survival and victory. That is exactly why the 22 Raptor was built to win the very first fight. Armed with missiles like the AMRAAM and Sidewinder, it can hunt enemies both at long range and in close dogfights. Hidden inside its base, it can also carry GPS-guided bombs, striking targets on the ground while still ready for aerial combat. Future upgrades added smarter, smaller weapons, expanding its reach on the battlefield. Its stealth design and supercruise mean enemy radars and surface-to-air missiles have only moments to react, if they can react at all. Beyond protecting itself, the Raptor clears the skies, shielding slower bombers and vital assets from danger. Agile, fast, and able to outclimb and outturn nearly anything that flies. It thrives in dogfights where a single move decides the outcome. But the Raptor is also practical, built for reliability and quick maintenance. It spends more time in the air and less on the ground. That means more missions, more presence, and more power projected for longer. Born from the search for the next generation of fighters, its prototypes first flew in the 1990s. By the early 2000s, it was in production, refined through testing until it became the spearhead of America's air dominance. Picture the Raptor sliding from the clouds like a shadow. It slips past defenses unseen, every heat source and antenna mapped on its screens. Within seconds, its weapons strike with precision, command rooms shattered, hangars burning, silence spreading across once untouchable ground. Radios go dead, orders vanish. A fortress collapses in moments, leaving only shock in its wake. But the F-22 is not alone in this era of dominance. Enter the F-35A. More than a fighter, it's a flying sensor, a command post in the sky. Its stealth hides it from radar, while its advanced systems fuse data from every sensor into one clear picture. The pilot, wearing a helmet that turns vision into targeting, sees the battlefield in 360 degrees, day or night. Every radar return, infrared signal, and electronic trace merges into one web of sight. The F-35 doesn't just fight. It shares that picture with allies, multiplying the strength of any force it flies with. Its engine delivers raw power, sending it climbing, sprinting, or holding the fight on its terms. Behind it all, digital support systems track its health, plan its upkeep, and keep it combat-ready every single day. This jet isn't just another aircraft, it's a global program, built with allies flying in shared missions. A single F-35 is a node in a vast network able to see, strike, and command with reach once reserved for entire fleets. Now imagine the scene. Inside Maduro's stronghold, walls rise high, watchtowers scan, and antennas feed endless orders underground. But above, a shadow glides in the F-35. Quiet, steady, deliberate. Its sensors lock on. Targets appear on the visor. A communications hub. A hangar, armored vehicles. With machine-like precision, the bombs fall. In moments, the lifelines of command are cut. Orders stop. Screens fade. The fortress is broken, without the city around it burning. This is the future of air power. Lightning strikes delivered by aircraft that don't just fight wars, they change them. The sky falls silent. In an instant, the city's heartbeat is broken. Power flickers, radios go dead, cameras black out. People look up, stunned, as the unshakable core of authority shatters into silence and smoke. A single strike has rewritten the rules. The F-35 slips away with the same calm it arrived, leaving behind chaos and confusion. Data flows to satellites, drones, and command centers across the globe. Planners adjust in real time, moving pieces on the map with newfound precision. The jet lands, reloaded for its next mission, while a city breathes in the weight of change. One strike doesn't end the fight, but it reshapes it. It cuts chains of command, blinds networks of control, and forces the enemy to rethink everything. The shock spreads fast. Newsrooms erupt. Diplomats scramble. Hospitals fill. Streets trade whispers of fear and survival. Lawyers, politicians, and generals rush to untangle what just happened. The smoke may clear in hours, but the ripple of that moment will last for years. If Nicolás Maduro survived such a strike, his first weapon would not be missiles, it would be words. His voice has long been a shield, painting every foreign threat as an assault on Venezuela itself. His fiery speeches frame attacks as the fall of empires and rally his people with fear and pride. But words alone cannot stop stealth. Behind his rhetoric, Maduro would lean on the few sharp blades left in his arsenal. The Sukhoi Su-30 Mk2s, heavyweight Russian fighters built for both air duels and ground strikes. On paper, their power is undeniable. Thrust-vectoring engines, long-range missiles like the R-27ER and R-77, and a design that makes the skies near Venezuela dangerous for intruders. Yet paper cannot cover cracks. Training, parts, and radar support decide whether they truly fly as defenders or as relics. The older MiG-29s add agility, but not dominance. Built for short, close fights, they can scramble fast to shield the homeland. But limits of money and logistics have long clipped their wings. Venezuela's records are filled with plans and purchases that never reached the runway.